Good morning, guys. Today is Friday, the first day of Eurosummit Invitational Weekend, which we'll get into in a second. First, let's start the day off by selling the R.
Who's there? Connecting rod.
That's good. So, Eurosummit. I'm selling the car in an hour or two. Then I gotta go to work for a few hours, and then we're gonna shoot up in the van, and we'll be there filming all weekend, hanging out. So come say hi. And while we're on that topic, Mark II May Day is shot. In the middle of editing that. Don't worry, I know this is like the second rant vlog type video we're doing, but I've got plenty of content that I'm in the middle of turning out for you guys. It's gonna be a really good year. So get this thing cleaned out and ready to sell. Bittersweet. I love the hell out of this car, and I, was always back and forth, either keep it forever type deal or keep it however long type deal, or cash out when the time is right. Time is kind of right. I mean, I've had it up for sale for a few months now, but wasn't really pushing it. The market's on fire. These cars in general hold their value, and it's kind of the perfect storm lately with these being a good time to sell. The market's out, the COVID craziness, shortage of chips, the used car market's on fire, whatever. Good time to sell, not the best time to buy. So definitely sad to see this thing go. I had a few videos planned for it, but I mean, every time I went to go film like any kind of video related to it, I was always hesitant to post it up here because there's a million videos on these cars out there. So we're keeping the snowflakes. These tarmacs are going with the car for the buyer. So if anybody's interested in those wheels, hit me up. I'll leave a link in the description for the Facebook listing, or I don't know, I'll throw them up somewhere. Yeah, I don't know much of what to say. This car is awesome. If you guys are ever considering getting one, I say do it. It's an absolutely incredible car. Volkswagen did a really, really good job on them, but you know what? Sometimes cash is king. We've got a few purchases lined up over the next few months. Nothing major that I want to talk about yet. Still in the very early stages of them, but we do have some pretty cool things lined up still, despite this thing going. Not that this really ends up on the channel much, but anybody who knows me is asking what the hell I'm doing. Why am I selling this? I guess this video is just really to explain that. Though I'm selling this, it will open up the door to some other purchases. I've got a few that I'm in the middle of working out. These are gonna happen throughout the winter. There's no immediate rush. I'm looking at a beater or two for the winter just to hold me over, because we'll not be driving this in the snow. Anybody who knows me personally knows I worked very hard to get this. I had a few years of a frenzy of working and selling stuff and really doing my best to make this dream happen, because this always was a dream car. But stuff happens. The market's on fire, and that's the main factor. The secondary main factor is that this car has 38,000 miles on it now, and it's either sell it now while it's still nice and young, or keep it and drive it into the ground type deal. And unfortunately, though I am older and more situated financially in life, I still find myself putting slightly more miles than I would have hoped for on this. So I put 35,000 miles on it in the last 3 years now. And it's not a ton, but it's a little too much to really go telling myself I'm going to keep this thing for a while and put no miles on it and make a huge cash out on it one day. It's just not, I'm just not hitting that sweet spot that's needed to really take advantage of that sort of plan. So off she goes. She will be missed, but it's just a car. There's always more cars out there, people. I'm not going to give out too much information, but there is one other dream car I'm looking at. And like I said, that's a few months out. You know, that'll pan out over the winter. If it could happen, sick. If it doesn't, whatever. There'll be other cars to go look at and buy. Well, that's all she wrote, guys. I'll see you guys at Eurosummit later. If anybody for some random reason is curious and trying to buy that car, it ended up going to a reseller, used car dealer, but he specializes in nicer, newer cars, you know, tuned cars. He's got an STI on the lot. He's got a Tesla Plaid. He's got 2 Plaids, he said. All sorts of cool stuff in his lot. I will leave the link to his dealership in the description below. Really cool dude. Also, if you're looking to sell a car, definitely give him a shout if you're in the area. That was easily the quickest and easiest transaction I've ever had to deal with. There was a problem with getting the lien released letter at the credit union on the spot now because it was a little too early in the morning. They couldn't call their bank. They couldn't call his bank and verify the check. But regardless, he wasn't even worried about it. He says, mail me the lien release when you get it. You know, just absolute pleasure of a person to deal with. Does not have time for bullshit. So if you're even remotely like me and don't have time for bullshit either, give him a shout. I can't say it enough. That was probably the easiest transaction I've ever had to deal with. And definitely the most expensive transaction I've ever had to deal with, aside from buying the car, which was also equally awesome. But anyways, blah, blah, blah. I will see you guys at Eurosummit tonight. By the time this video goes up, we'll already be there. So see you guys at the show this weekend.